If I can teach you guys how to become financially free, OMG, it's going to be amazing. Think about it. You wanted to change the world, right? What is money? Money is purely an amplifier of who you are. It's not good, it's not bad. So if you're a good person and you have money, I believe you'll help a lot of people with it. Like, I was sat there in meditation, but I was like, boom, all these bright lights, and then from one dimension to another dimension to another dimension, loads of scenes. And I was most fascinated about it was being able to see Australia forest fires just before it happened, first signs of coronavirus, and then the lockdown, and then the economic depression, the recession that has not hit yet, and it's going to hit bigger than it's ever hit before. You will be able to see everything in this lifetime, and you will feel every emotion of it amplified.
You've obviously reached a different frequency where everything connects and everything makes sense, and everything that happened for a reason, a divine reason.
The Yogi with a Lamborghini. How did that come about?
So without further ado, I'm Radin Jerome. Wherever you are in your life or wherever you're going, whether financially, spiritually, or for your health, I hope you're on your way. Now let's get into it.
Master Siri.
Hi.
Thanks
for having me.
Thank you for coming. I want to first start off by asking you, I've done my research about you. You're an incredible character. I mean, we were supposed to do this a couple of months ago, and then you flew, I think the day before, to Taiwan, was it?
Oh yeah, we had a gig out there.
Yeah. And so I'm following you on social media, and I'm watching you go to Taiwan, and the amount of people that were waiting for you at the airport.
Oh yeah.
Is that normal?
Yeah, I think so. These days, that's what happens. but we try not to. So like this time, we usually have like protocol to not, like, we don't usually post our stories until after we've arrived in places. So we try to do that. But this time, somebody leaked something inside our community to say, oh, I think I found out. They were investigating, and then they found out, oh, there's this plane, I think, and then they all just rocked up. So usually we try to prevent that because it's too much sometimes, you know.
And I mean, you're a very nice guy, and you, like, I watched your stories, and you were just taking photos with everybody and signing babies' foreheads and everything. You were doing it all. So that must get annoying. Just like you're just off a plane, 14 hours.
Yeah, so that's why we try to avoid it. But it's always nice meeting the people. They're very nice people.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't want to meet people. It's that I'm naturally an introvert. So being surrounded by people every single day is quite a lot.
Yeah, quite a lot. Especially in your field, everybody kind of looking up to you.
Yeah.
Being an introvert, I'd imagine it'd be hell sometimes.
Yeah.
Would you say you're an introvert extrovert? You can float between the two, or you're 100% introvert?
I can make myself extrovert, but I don't feel it's my nature. So yeah, I grew up very quiet, and I'm most comfortable when I'm not speaking. And I mean, I started business very young, so when we started business, you have to meet people and you have to speak. And I used to be so bad at that, you know. But I got good at it. I practiced, you know. So if you put me into any space, it doesn't matter with how many people, I can make people believe that I'm an extrovert, you know. I can be the loudest person in the room if I wanted to. But I choose not to these days. Yeah. In the past, I felt like I had to, because it's the business game. You have to go out, hustle and grind. So you have to meet people. You know.
Yeah. I mean, you got to get out of the house to be able to do something with your life. You know. They say the more hands you shake, the more money you make.
I never heard that actually, but that sounds pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about the beginning, your personal journey. You grew up in the UK. And then you got into business very early. I know you got a big loan to start up your own restaurant. Is that restaurant still around?
Yeah, somebody else has taken over it now. So it's been sold 2 times already, I think. 2 or 3 times, yeah.
You franchised it. You had how many? Over 50 franchisees?
Yeah, we recruited 52 franchisees. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was a nightmare.
Was it? The food game.
Sounds a lot more like wow, you know, when people talk about it, but it was so many problems, and it's like if you have one restaurant that already has some problems, whether it's to do with management, whether it's to do with, I don't know, costs or whatever, and then you blow it up to 52, you've got 52 times the problem, you know. And so, you know, I guess, you know, we live and we learn, and you know, everything is, you know, part of the journey, you know. So now it's like a lot of things that I do. Let's say the charity. We have a charity out in Kenya, and a lot of people say, why don't you help kids in China or kids in India and all the rest of it? And I'm like, yeah, we will grow, but our foundations are not strong enough in Kenya yet. You know, it's not self-sustainable, so there's no point in me. You know, can I open more centers? Of course I can, but you're just blowing up the problem. And I think that's what nobody taught me when I was younger, you know. I just thought, you know, go big or go home, just keep opening and you'll be successful, you know. Yeah.
It's not always like that, and there's always growing pains. If you were to listen to these people and continue creating more centers and more centers, let's say you ran out of money, then you can't help anyone.
Yeah, that's right.
You have to maintain this bicycle that it just keeps running. There has to be a balance.
That's right.
Right? So that restaurant that you had, what food was it, by the way?
Chinese buffet food.
Oh, and it's still going.
Yeah, it's still going. Yeah,
Okay.
we opened quite a few of those buffet restaurants until we franchised the noodle bar. So
Okay.
yeah, it did very well. It made it's a cash business, so you make a lot of you know, money. And but I was young and naive at that time, so didn't know what to do with the money. I used to just spend and party and all the rest of it. You know?
So you were a party boy back in the day?
Yeah, but they say every master was once a disaster.
I never heard that one before. So how did you make that transition into spirituality?
Now I think back, I think when I was younger, I grew up in quite a spiritual family, I think. They were Buddhists. They used to get me to chant every day and things like that. I went to Catholic school, so we said the Lord's Prayer, so it mixed the religions and things. So I was introduced to that early on, and I think that somewhere in my 20s, I kind of got lost in the money game, you know. So when you're too much in the material world and you're chasing one goal after another, you don't really think of, you know, the spiritual side or anything. But then I think it was when I was when I started speaking, being a speaker and a coach, I started to attract a lot of spiritual people in my life, and whenever they spoke, I kind of resonated with it, and I was like, it was all clicking, and I was like, man, this is like, you know, I need to know more about this, you know. Yeah.
Wow. And obviously, you know, you wanted to know more about it, and you put one foot in front of the other, and you went into that direction. How did you become a master? How does someone become a master?
Actually, master was not what I wanted. When I got into spirituality, I used to brand myself the spiritual gangster, because I always felt pretty gangster, you know. I just like, I didn't resonate with, you know, wearing a robe or, you know, doing like any, I don't know, I just couldn't, that idea of master was just not me. It felt old and boring. That's how I felt it was. So I never really looked for that. But then it was actually in 2019, so just a few years ago, there was a Himalayan yogi that reached out to me. Actually, one of his disciples reached out to me and said that it's time to go for an initiation up in the Himalayas. And I thought it was really weird at first. I said, what initiation? And then his disciple said that Grandmaster has selected you to be his first disciple to get the spiritual master title. And I thought that was really weird, because why me? I've only been to like a few sessions of his before, and I'm probably the worst at yoga and everything, and I didn't get it. But then I just thought, you know, what have I got to lose? Let's give it a shot. Go out there, see what happens, you know. And day 1, day 2, day 3, I was like, man, this yoga is really tough. I mean, you got to put this leg on this shoulder and that leg on that shoulder and all this type of stuff. And I was like, man, I want to go home, you know. I don't think I can do this. And then he used to like throw us in the oceans with the huge waves, and then throw us inside the fast-flowing Ganges, and you just get, it's just a lot of things, you know. And that was for the first 3 days, and I thought, this is too tough. I don't know if I can hack this. And then on the third day, he did this practice about third eye meditation. And then he did something, and then suddenly, bam, I was out. Like, I was sat there in meditation, but I was like, boom, all these bright lights, and then from one dimension to another dimension to another dimension, loads of scenes, and it was just it was shocking. Then I opened my eyes and I said, what was that? Then what he said to me, he said, this time I opened it for you. In this journey, you need to learn how to open it for yourself to see everything. And from that moment, I was hooked, because I was like, what is this? You know, who are we? Where are we? What are we? What is existence? What's our purpose? You know, all these big questions came in. And I was fascinated. So I went through this whole initiation, this whole pilgrimage. And then it was fascinating to me, because I could see future. That was post-pandemic. So I had seen all of that. And then I came out of the mountains a bit like a psycho, and telling all my subscribers, followers, and that the world's dark ages are coming, be careful, look after yourself, and all the rest of it. And then people thought I was crazy at the time, you know. And then it wasn't that long, you know, maybe 3-4 months, and then everything started to kick off. And then so many people messaged me back and said, you've seen all of this? I said, dude, I told you, you know.
Wow.
It was very strange, yeah.
And could you do that? You know, you explained that experience that you had with the light turned on, right? Can you do that now yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you do that for other people?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Explain to me what that is. What is that? What is that state that you're in?
You are...
You're almost having psychedelics without having psychedelics.
Yes, it's exactly that, actually. So you don't have the side effects and the problems, because you understand this instrument and how to move your energy out. I mean, when you're doing anything like psychedelics, or any people are doing things like plant medicines, or even doing any type of drug even, what it's doing is it's numbing the mind. When your mind is not thinking, that's why meditation we practice to not think. But when your mind is not thinking, then your energy can travel, your energy is expanding. It's our human mind that locks our energy here. And so that's what it is. And when our energy expands, it connects to everything in its existence, even in our parallel realities. And you see future, you can see past, you can access anything. Yeah. So that's when I thought it would be cool to be a spiritual master, you know. But yeah, I just but then it was interesting, because it was a very fast journey, and then afterwards I realized the responsibility it comes with, because I think everybody wants to see everything until they see it. And then when you see it, let's say for example, if you could see right now how you're going to die, I don't think it'll make you happy. I don't think you'll be thrilled. Oh wow, look, I can see that. No, I don't think so. I think you'll be dreading it. You'll be having more concerns and problems and doubts and fears. If you could see, you know, exactly when your family or close ones are going to die, I don't think that's not going to help you in any way. You know, it actually makes you worry and things. So it's like opening up Pandora's box, and then now it's like, what do you do with that information? How do you deal with it responsibly? You know, so it's not what everyone wants. Everyone wants the superpower, and then when you have it, it's like, so now what? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the craziest thing what's the craziest experience you've had?
I'm not sure about. I think everything crazy has become normal now, because you're just used to it, you know.
Yeah.
But I think that I would call it craziest, because that was at the beginning time, and I was most fascinated about it, was being able to see Australia forest fires just before it happened, the volcano in eruption in Philippines, followed by the riots in Hong Kong, followed by the first signs of coronavirus, and then the lockdown, and then the economic depression, the recession that has not hit yet, and it's going to hit bigger than it's ever hit before.
Wow.
That isn't still, you know, not there yet.
Sure.
But the more it's going to be delayed, the bigger this thing is going to be, and it's a big thing that's going to happen, you know. So people need to know how to best prepare themselves. But I think that being able to see all of that, and over time working with my spiritual master, learning how to use this information to help people instead of worrying about it, is most fascinating to me, you know. And not to mention, not to forget to mention that past life experience is also equally as wild. To be able to meet one day. So one of my friends in London said, let's come to church one day. I said, you know, it doesn't matter, whatever, let's go and then just enjoy ourselves. So I went to church, and then in the far distance there was this old lady. She must have been in 70s, 80s or something like that. She looked over at me, and then I looked at her, and I felt so emotional. And then when I looked deep into her eyes, I seen my wife. That was wild, because I had to keep switching back. Wait there. Like, I look here, she's an 80-year-old lady, and then looking deep and then seeing our connection. And she knew it because she was staring at me like that. And then I felt this weird sensations throughout my whole body. And I was like, this is really strange. And then I could see what past life and what's happening. And then I thought, no, I'm going crazy. What is this? What's this like? Maybe it's just like God and Jesus thing that they're doing here. Is it some woo-woo stuff? I don't know what's happened, right? And then it got to the end of the event. Everybody had left, and I was still there with my friend. And then the old lady walked up to me. I'm getting shivers just talking about it now. She walked up to me, and then she said, "Can I just speak to you one moment?" And I said, "Yeah." She pulled me to one side. She said, "I've been waiting for this moment for many lives. It's great to see you again." I was like,
my God.
God. I was like, what is this? So it's so strange, you know, really, really strange. So that was when I just came off the mountains as well. So I think but these occurrences happen quite often now. So I get used to it. I'm just like, okay, it's that again, you know.
You're blowing my mind right now. You're blowing my mind. Wow. You know, I understand what you mean. I really do. Sometimes you see someone and you're like, it's a familiar face, or they feel familiar.
Even though you've never met them in this lifetime. So there must be a reason behind it, you know. So,
damn. So what happens to us when we die? Your belief. What's your belief? What happens to us when we die?
So I've seen it before. So we just move into the next part. Everybody's different depending on how they were in this lifetime. So everything is karma. Everything we do is accumulated, and at the end there's a system. Like the universe has a system. Sun goes up at the right time every day, moon comes out every month, you know. So there's a system. Just like our death, our birth has a system. So based on our karmic points, it will be dependent on, you know, where we can go. So we can imagine it like this. I mean, it's not like this because it's just energy at the end of the day when we leave. But the exit everybody's exit is the same though. The exit is through this bright light flashing, very, very fast pace, and then you will be able to see everything in this lifetime, and you will feel every emotion of it amplified. So any bad things you ever did to anybody, any ways you hurt people, it will just be amplified, and it'll be like that painful experience, you know, going through that. Or if you did a lot of good things, you'll be able to feel all of that. You just get like imagine like Facebook giving you a recap of your year, you know, that like one of those. So it's like one of those really fast paced, and you go through that thing, and then you're out on the end. When you're out on the end, then it's like being summoned, or being like, it's like going to court with a judge, and then okay, here's your report. So, you know, and then this is the points you have. So now you get a choice to what's going to happen with your energy, your spirit. You know, is it going to go back to human life and play the game again? Is it going to go a different type of life? Is it not going to go into physical life, you know? So you get a choice, you know, like that.
And when you say you've seen it, do you mean you've seen it during your meditations?
Yeah, you can say that. Because meditation to us, when we move out of third eye, we can move into any dimension, for example, future dimension or past dimension. So we can look into that future of ourselves. and the multi-dimensional of ourself as well. So on a parallel dimension, there is an existence where we are doing something else. We are someone else
At the same time.
at the same time. Yeah, but that's what dream is. So, yeah, when we are dreaming, people just call it dream because they don't understand it. But dream, you are somewhere else. I mean, you for sure your consciousness is not here. Someone can walk in your room, take something, and you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
So
Unless you're a light sleeper.
yeah, but then you're not fully somewhere else.
Yep,
You know?
yep,
Yeah.
you're not fully.
Yeah. Where do we go from here? It's never ending, you know. It's just like it goes deeper and deeper. So
What do I what do I say after that?
not your usual podcast.
No, definitely not. So,
You know, it's interesting because I don't actually usually talk about this much because everybody's very humanized. So you're asking the questions, but otherwise other people might think I'm wacky, you know. So sometimes I just keep to straight business, you know.
no. This is exactly the kind of conversation I like, because this conversation I have with my friends often. I had a conversation with my friend 2 months ago, I think it was. We're in Bali and we're just on the beach, whatever, and then we were talking about religion, spirituality, everything. He told me a theory. He said, you know, when there's somebody that has an old soul, it's not that they have an old soul, it's that they've returned to this earth many times.
Yeah.
So once that soul has been on this earth many times,
It knows how to navigate it well.
correct. And also every time it's on this earth, the frequency goes higher and higher until it goes into the next world. Is that true? So you just keep going up the level until you go into the next one?
Yeah.
Or
So, yeah.
you can bypass it depending on how you live your life.
Yeah, speeding up your awakening. Yeah, but yeah, it's like the easiest way to look at it is like a computer game. So let's say you play a game, and then you're playing to win, right? And then each time you game over, you have to start again from the beginning. And so you start again from the beginning, and then every time you start from the beginning, you can choose your character again.
Yeah.
So it's just like a game, you know? And so you choose a new character, and now you'll need to learn how to navigate it with this new character and the new facilities that you have and everything. But the reality is, the more you've played the game, the more you know the game from the beginning. So that's why sometimes you get some children who seem like sometimes you hear some children say some wacky stuff, and you're like, how do you even know that? Who taught you that? And they said, nobody. And you're like, what do you mean, dude? You know, so somebody must have gave you that, you know? So, yeah.
There's an article, I'll send it to you if I find it. There's a guy in Ohio, there's a little boy in Ohio, he's 5 years old. When he was born, at the age of 5, he said, I died in a car crash over here. Have you seen that article?
I haven't, but I know it's very normal for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they said,
children to know.
This kid's 5 years old, how does he know that he died in a car accident over here at this?
A lot of the time children will know, but parents will shut it down because parents will say, don't be silly, you know.
Correct.
No, it's not, don't be silly, don't think about it. And then at the end of it, a lot of the time the kid starts believing what the parents are saying, you know, telling them, it's only a dream or this and that, and then they get conditioned into the normal human life and then think like everybody else, you know. Yeah.
What happens to bad people? What happens? What happened to Hitler? What happened to Hitler? Did he come back as a plant that that a big elephant came and did a poo on?
So,
right.
So yeah, everything is karma.
Okay.
And so depending on how many negative points you get, bad points you get, then it's all accumulated, which then it will, like I said, there's like a summoning.
Okay.
Which will be decided what type of life will suit you best to be able to improve. What situation do I need to put you in for you to be able to improve? So yeah, it's
okay. I see.
Yeah.
So it's all out of love.
Hey?
It's all out of love then. What I'm hearing from you, it's all love. There's no punishment.
But I mean, you can. It depends how you define punishment. Like, let's say, for example, if somebody was put into poverty, is that punishment or not? I mean, it's debatable, right? So some people say that's horrible. I've been dealt the wrong cards, you know. But sometimes, I mean, I know because I go out to Kenya every year, but I see the kids, they're the happiest people you ever meet. You know?
I was about to say that, yeah.
So, yeah, I think in some ways, it depends how you look at it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a God?
God is a label we give,
Okay.
a name. We because we have English vocabulary is named God. There is a higher power. There is that what we can call divine power. There is a universe. There is an existence. There is that energy, the big energy. I don't usually promote any particular religion, because I think that religion is a very interesting thing that divides people.
Yeah.
And that confuses me sometimes, because I'm like, so your God told you that you should hate on other people who believe in something else?
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I think that it's just a lot of misinterpretations over years. You can spend some time reading the Quran, reading the Bhagavad Gita, reading the Bible, spending some time in church, temples, Buddhism, and then eventually you'll find so many parallels, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're all speaking the same thing with a different label. And then what humans have done over time is set rules that have confined people in different 10 commandments. You cannot do this, cannot do that. Is it bad? Is it good? It's made people sometimes fear God. I don't think people should fear God. But I think that rules for society is required because it keeps people in place, you know? But I think some people take it a bit too seriously and think that's the only way, you know?
Yeah.
So, is there an almighty, a huge energy that has more power over us? Absolutely, yes. It doesn't matter who's listening right now to this show. They can say, I'm going to live to 108. Doesn't mean they can. Something else is in control, you know? Our life can be taken away in an instant, so who controls that, you know? There has to be another energy, another layer that has that intelligence to control that, yeah.
If you like this video, consider subscribing. We do weekly podcasts with experts in every industry to help you find direction and guide you on your way. Now let's get back into it. You know, I'm very spiritual. Okay, I do transcendental meditation, and I'm not very religious. I didn't come from a religious family either, and the reason why I'm not very religious is because, you know, you could probably say 99% of people born in America are Christian. 99% of people that were born in Saudi Arabia are Muslim. So, you know, you're telling me, thank God I was born into this into this country, which, you know, teaches me the only God and the only way. So just based on where you were born, it's kind of saying, oh, that's the only God, you know, where it's just based on your location and geography that you were born in. So for me, it's the high power. And what you said, they all overlap. They all say the same thing, you know. But unfortunately, there's a lot of conflict that comes out of, you know, the war on religion.
A lot, yeah. They fight each other.
Yeah.
But that's why I think sometimes, I mean, it can be good if people get positivity out of going to church. That's good. If people get negativity out of going to church and you become somebody who hates on other people, then you got to really reevaluate what this is doing to you. You know.
Yeah. Do ghosts exist?
So what is ghost? Ghost is spirit, right? So we die, but I mean, this is science, right?
Right.
Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred. So we can we're energy. Everything is energy. Energy is everything. So we can't ever be destroyed. We will continue to move on. So if we move on and we're in the midst of floating out, is there a ghost? You know. So again, it's another label, but it's just energy. That's all it is.
So okay. So what if, like, all these, you know, sort of, you know, the chair moved? How can someone explain that? Is that fake? Like, in your belief, do you think that's made up? That can happen?
Of course, yeah.
So could there be spirits that have been trapped onto this earth that aren't in human being or physical being, and they're just going around fucking with people, pushing chairs over?
Yes.
That can happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen one?
Yeah.
You've seen one?
Yeah.
What does
But
it look?
this is before any awakening thing, because
Okay.
I used to always see things like this. Yeah.
Like, what does it look like? Is it like a human shape?
Just like a human. Yeah.
It's a human shape.
Yeah.
Does it have camel feet? That's a serious question, by the way.
I don't think I looked at the feet actually.
You didn't look at the feet. Okay. Some of the studies I've done is they have camel feet.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh.
A few people have said that, and I just wanted to double check that with you.
I don't know.
Okay, so ghosts can happen, and ghosts, okay. Jesus, you're blowing my mind right now.
You know, everything is real. Every story, every imagination, every idea you've ever had, or dream you've ever had, no matter how wacky it's been, every movie that's ever been produced, whether it's Avatar or Inception or anything, Matrix or whatever, it's all real, because everything is energy and energy is everything. Ideas is energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, it cannot be transferred. When that energy is in motion, it moves through us and we have an emotional pulse and desire to write something, script something. That's what the directors do in movies. Mm-hmm. They, even Michael Jackson used to say this a lot. He said a lot of his songs came from his dream, he woke up one day and just like wrote the whole thing out. But so we receive this information, and if we are skeptical about it, then obviously in our reality it's not true. Like I always say to people, if you believe in magic, there's magic. If you no longer believe in magic, you will never see any magic anymore. You take a kid, you debunk every magic trick, then suddenly there's no more magic. They'll never believe in magic again. But if they believe in magic, magic is actually true in their reality, And I think that in the same way, what was very eye-opening to me when I was up in the Himalayas with my spiritual master is when he took us through the 4 layers. In Himalayas, there's 4 layers. So the first 2 layers are human layers, and the second 2 layers are non-human layers. When I first heard that, I didn't get it. I was like, what are you talking about? And then he took me to the top, the peak of a mountain. We trekked. And then he said to me, I said to him, "Whoa." I said, "So this is the 4th layer then?" He said, No. He said, "This is the 2nd layer." He said, 3rd, 4th layer, we can't go to now. We have to practice or train to be able to get you there. And then I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "But where's the other layers? We're at the top right now." Then he said, "Sit here, meditate." Then imagine we sat there and we meditated for maybe an hour or so, and then after an hour he taps on my shoulder. He said, "Open your eyes." I opened my eyes and I seen a few more peaks. And I looked over to him, I said, "Oh, am I still here? Am I dreaming? I fell asleep, what's happening?" And then he said, "We're here. Keep eye, move your hands, you're here." I said, "I'm here." I said, "But they weren't there a moment ago. How's that there?" He said, "They will not be revealed for everybody because humans are not supposed to go there." And I said, "So we can go there now?" He said, No, we need to practice to go there. And I said, "But where was that before?" He said, "It's hidden. The clouds, everything, it's hidden." I said, "But how did you just open it?" He said, "I just asked for permission. If we ask for permission, they can allow you to see it." I was like, what is this? This is so strange. Yeah. And then what happened is we walked a few more, maybe another hour or 2 across that path. And then he said it's not safe to go out further because there's disturbed energies in some places, so we need to be careful. So anyway, I listened to him, and then suddenly this huge eagle flies over, and then loads of huge eagles start flying over. Eagle. How big is an eagle? If I ask
Huge.
You? How big is an eagle? Give me.
How wide with his wings? 2.5 meters?
Absolutely crazy. Like way bigger than us. Way bigger than us. Standing up like this on the edge. I totally freaked out because to me it looked like a dinosaur. I would not call that an eagle because I thought eagles were just, I don't know how big, right?
Yeah.
But I said, "What's that?" He said, "They're eagles." I said, "They're eagles?" I said, They friendly, they're safe." He He said, it's okay. They're divine beings. I said, what do you mean divine beings? He said, yeah. He said, a lot of us, when we used, because he grew up in the mountains, he said a lot of the mountain yogis, how they travel from mountain to mountain is with the eagle. And I said, the eagles carry you from mountain to mountain? He said, yeah, how else do you think we travel? I was like, that's so wacky, that's so strange. And I said, so what do we need to interact? He said, no. They're just observing. They're just protecting this place. I said, this is so crazy. And I remember the whole day, I kept slapping myself in the face, asking myself, am I dreaming? Am I dead? what happened to me, you know? It's very strange, you know? And I remember there was another day, we were doing yoga practice up in the mountains, and then suddenly this cobra just arrived. And it completely freaked me out again, because, you know, I just didn't know what, it was huge, and then just came up like this. And then I said, Grandmaster, I said, do we need to do anything? Shh. Meditate. I was like, this is the toughest time for me to meditate right now. You know, I know the cobra's right next to me. So just meditate. And then Grandmaster starts doing practice, the yoga practice. And then while he's doing the sun salutation, the cobra starts moving in sun salutation movement right next to him. I'm just looking at it. I'm just like, what is that? I asked him afterwards, and he said to me, he said, it's just another divine being. A lot of divine beings, they take on these different forms to just monitor and protect the place. Wow, fascinating.
Jesus. How often do you see your Grandmaster?
At least once a year. So okay. I have every year I need to go out for some training. Yeah. So yeah.
And where is it? In the Himalayas?
Yeah, mostly in the Himalayas. Okay. We also sometimes go some other places as well. Yeah. But these places are not. They're not where people know to be the spiritual training places. Because energy is always moving.
Yeah.
So sometimes, if you have a big energy at a particular temple or something, when there's too many tourists, then it disturbs the energy, so the energy needs to move somewhere else. So we're actually following the energy instead of going to the tourist places. Yeah.
Are you afraid of death?
No. I used to be petrified of it. I remember when I was younger, I used to cry myself to sleep every night and cry to mom and say I don't want to die, you know, when I was a little kid. I used to be petrified of it. But I think being able to see everything, I understood. It's okay, anytime is okay. Actually, today is okay, anytime is okay. It's not a problem, you know, because we just continue to move. But when the time is right, it'll happen. And and I think that's also a big thing for humans. When they're not afraid of death, then there's not many things they're afraid of anymore, which makes them they'll have a very powerful capacity to do big things in this lifetime, because they're fearless, you know. So it doesn't matter.
I feel that with you, actually. I get a very I get an overwhelming sense of positivity and calm and stillness from you. And I think it's because you've obviously reached a different frequency where everything connects and everything makes sense, and everything that happened for a reason, a divine reason. So, you know, there's no bad days. Every day was necessary.
Yeah.
Do you ever have a bad day?
No, it's not. I have challenges.
Okay. Because
I'm living in human life.
Yes.
But it's everything is supposed to be, you know. I'll tell you something. When we first moved here to Dubai, we got scammed about $2.5 million, something around that mark. Yeah. My energy that day when I found out was just like it is now, you know, because it's supposed to be.
It didn't shake you? No,
because if I got scammed, it's my problem. You understand? It's like nobody can force me to be scammed. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and it's if I blame the people who did it, it will not help me at all. And so I need to learn more about myself and learn more about this journey. and then I know that bigger things will come, and so it did. You know, we've only been in Dubai less than 2 years, but this has been our biggest financial year in my whole life. So, you know, it's like that. If you take a positive approach to it, you attract more positive things in your life. And if you're not the problem is when you're affected by negative things, you just end up, you know, in that forever. You know, I mean, I know a lot of people who are still have resentment or regret on something they did 5, 6, 7 years ago. They're taking that energy into the present, and we only manifest from the present. So it's almost like you are taking the bad energy into now and then using the bad energy to recreate it again and again. And it's like, why on earth would you do that? And they say, because I hate that guy, or that person shouldn't have did that. I said, but you know, you're hating yourself more. Like, you know, you're trying to give somebody else negative energy, but you're getting more negative energy in the midst of doing it, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, and you're carrying that, and by carrying that energy, that means that's going to happen to you again.
Yeah.
You know, instead of actually wiping it and having a clean slate.
It's all a game. This is all a game.
Do you feel like it's you versus you?
It's me versus me. Yes. But it's not even versus, you know. I guess in some ways we try to be a better person every single day, and we try to be able to, you know, achieve more and be more peaceful and happy all the time. And but I think that people take life too seriously. You know, at the end, when we die, we will laugh at ourselves for all those serious moments, those moments that you were fighting over nothing, and it's just so irrelevant, you know. I think that there's so many things that we get upset or angry about, you know. Even like social media. I remember I only started social media in 2018, you know. Going on the YouTube, and then I just thought to make some videos. I didn't think about, you know, making money, or I didn't think about, you know, how many people I'm going to reach. In fact, I seen some people with 15,000 subscribers at the time, and I thought, hey, that would be nice to have 15,000 subscribers sometime. That's a lot of people, you know.
Now you got 1.8 million.
Yeah, so it just happened. But when it happened, everything happened in a, like, I mean, I got a few 100,000 subscribers within the first few months, and it started blowing up, and within a year and a bit, and it went up to 1 million. So it went very quickly. But what I found is that this online space is quite brutal to humans. Like humans that are not that have a strong mind, it's quite tough on them, you know. And you know, hats off to all the youngsters out there who make, you know, silly videos and get a lot of traction, and they stay strong in the game, because I don't think humanly or mentally it's that easy, you know, because with every, you know, 10 good comments, you're going to have one complainer, one hater, you know. And if that's the case, then we need to understand that anybody who's ever made a post on social media before, even if they're not an influencer, they've probably still had an aunt and an uncle's comment on, you should be wearing that, or something like that, and it got them, you know, upset for a few days, you know. And then now if you blow that up with how many friends or following you have on your social channels, and then you blow that up by 10 times, by 100 times, by 1,000 times, you can imagine that if you have 1 million subscribers, you've got at least 1,000 haters that actively show up every single day to hate on you. And the human mind is interesting, because the human mind is always looking for negativity, right? Like when you make a post, what do? You keep going back to visit the comments, right? And then what do you do when you visit the comments? You will scroll through you look great, you're amazing, you're beautiful, you scroll through all that, and you kind of ignore all of that, because you're looking for something. You're looking because you're hoping it doesn't happen. You're like, I hope nobody commented on the way I dressed, the way I spoke, then you find it. And when you find it, that's the end of your day. You're like, oh, I can't believe it. Why did they hate me? I'm so bad at this, whatever. And then you go through all this whole trauma, you know. And I think that it's a very interesting thing how influencers will need to learn and adapt very quickly how to deal with that, because if they don't, people get cyberbullied, and there's a lot of people suicide. I know somebody who recently suicided because they couldn't handle it anymore. You know, they had millions of following, and I don't think sometimes the people on the other side who are just judging and commenting on people's looks or people's appearances or whatever, you know, people, the way people speak or what they do, they know, you know, I think there's a saying that says if you haven't got anything good to say, don't say anything at all, you know, but everything is cause and effect. You know, what words you put out or what actions you put out, you know, be responsible, because you don't know what's happening on the other side, you don't know their story. And
everybody's going through something.
Yeah, and that's why I think that, you know, social media is a very interesting space. You know, it allows messages to get out there, but people need to. It builds up your strength. And for me personally, in 2018, actually, I didn't realize this. I thought I was very strong, you know, but in 2018, at the end of it, because it blew up very quickly, the channel, I did get affected. You know, I would wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is check comments, you know. I mean, I don't do that anymore because I know that's just nonsense, you know, because most of it, you know, 95% of it, 99% of it is going to be, thank you so much, Master, you changed my life. And then it's going to be the odd one, which is you're talking nonsense, right? And then, but back then when it did affect me, I said to myself, I wasn't conscious about it, because I said to myself, I said, I think I don't need to do this anymore. I was telling myself that I think that I'm done with helping people. I think I've helped enough people. I think I've fulfilled my purpose in this lifetime. And I don't think I'll continue with this impact coaching or anything like that anymore. And I didn't know until the journey in the Himalayas, when my spiritual master sat in front of me and he said to me, you need to build up your spirit, the strength of your spirit. And I said, what do you mean? I thought I was very strong. And he kept getting me to do all these really tough tasks on the mountains, a lot of strength training stuff. I was like, why does he keep getting me to do these? It's a little bit like when you watch a Karate Kid and then you just wax on, wax off, and you don't know why you're doing it. I said, I don't know why I'm doing this. But at the end, he kept saying to me, you train your body to be strong, your mind will become stronger. Your mind will become stronger, your spirit will become stronger. You will not be affected by anything. And I didn't even know what that meant until actually it was way after the mountains, when I realized, hey, I don't care about anybody saying anything or commenting anything anymore.
Yeah.
It was very strange, you know, that because that was the same thing. I tell you, you asked me just before when we first met, you said about the yogi with a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
How did that come about? I was watching, obviously I was already teaching stuff, right? And then I was getting into the spiritual thing, so every day is like namaste and, you know, all this very light energy stuff, peacefulness. And then one day I came across, there was an interview with Tai Lopez, right? So the interviewer, I can't remember who it was now, is asking him, Tai, why is it that you always, you know, have these Rolls Royces, Lamborghinis, and all these Insta babes behind you and stuff, and always showing off and all, you know? And then Tai said something that was completely profound. I didn't expect to get this epiphany from him, but it was like, he said, do you know how many kids off the streets, they message me every single day to say, thank you, Tai. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be reading this book, and I wouldn't be, you know, into personal development. I wouldn't have started my own business. These are kids from gangs on the streets. He said, do you think they would have ever clicked on any of my videos if it wasn't for the Lamborghini or the babes you have in the background? And in that moment, I just got an epiphany, because I was like, I'm trying to share this message of love and positivity and spirituality to be able to help and change humanity. Yet at the same time, if I'm speaking on a higher level of consciousness, I will only ever reach the people who are at a higher level of consciousness who can resonate with that. But the people who need the help most is who? Are the materialistic, stuck in that chasing game people.
Exactly.
So I was like, I just got this aha, and literally 2 days later, I went to buy a bright orange Lamborghini. And I said, that's it. It's the Yogi with the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
That's why when I put Yogi with the Lamborghini out, you can imagine it's a controversy thing. It's like, wait there, you're spiritual, and wait there,
They don't go together.
Money, you shouldn't. If you're spiritual, you should not have money.
Yeah.
Right? And then the money people will come to me and say, this woo-woo person, what's he talking about? Nonsense, you know? So I had two crowds that were coming in. It was getting a lot of traction. That's how the name started blowing up. It got a lot of traction. Yet at the same time, I got two people fighting against each other and fighting me at the same time, saying that you're not right in doing this, right? And I remember speaking to one of my social media coaches at the time, and I said that, whoa, I said this, so everyone's hating on each other and everything. What's happening here? And then he said, because you're creating polarizing content and then you keep creating it, and this is what happens, but that's how it's to go viral. And I said, yeah, it's going viral, okay, but I don't know if I want this every single day, you know? And then, but again, I looked at the same thing. Am I getting 95% of the people saying, thank you so much, you changed my life, and only 5% of the people arguing? Yes, I am. So I was like, okay, I'm reaching a lot more people now, helping a lot more people. That's when, after the mountains, I got this epiphany to say, you know, I don't care anymore. I know who I am. I know my message. I know my intention. It doesn't matter if you say you should not wear those shoes. It doesn't you say I should not drive that car. That's your problem, not mine. Because I come in with a good intent and I'm impacting the world and you are not.
Exactly.
So I felt this invincible, unstoppable energy after the mountains when I felt so strong in my power and knowing myself so well. That's why today I'm just like, whatever watch I want to wear, I wear whatever watch. Whatever car I want to drive, I drive whatever car. And I know why I'm doing it. I will put it out in public, not a problem, because I will attract the right people that are hurt to come in and one day teach them, okay, even if you're going to meditate, right? Even if you like Lamborghinis, then learn to meditate in a Lamborghini, you know, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do. Just learn about self-love, because you can click on a lot of my Yogi with Lamborghini videos. When you click on them, you'll see at the end of the day, I'm talking about self-love inside the Lamborghini, you know.
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes is, God will never take you to what he can't take you through. You mentioned in 2018, you know, the comments were affecting you. That was something you needed to go through, because you needed to go through that to realize that it doesn't mean anything. You're the one helping. They're not.
That's right.
They're not. You're the one helping.
That's right.
And look, that's something that I really admire about you, is a yogi is somebody that lives in the mountains, doesn't wear designer, you know, lives off 1 grain of rice a week, and you know, and here you are mixing the capitalism world. You're very successful, you know, you rocked up in a beautiful McLaren today, and you're the yogi with a Lamborghini. And you know, so I love that. I love that you're mixing those two things together, and because you're reaching such a larger audience. Because, you know, social media is filthy. They're all about the cars and the Maybachs and the Maseratis and the you know, sorry, the McLarens and everything, you know. So with that, it's almost a tool to get the attention, to then open the door for yourself to go in, but then spread the good message.
So I tell you what the key message is. It's actually very simple. There's two types of people in this world. The material chasers. I mean, and Dubai is a classic example. So many people, they're just chasing for the next big thing. They think that happiness is with the next material they get, when it's not, right? Then you have the complete other side of the spectrum, which is the spiritual woo-woo people, tree huggers. It's all about love. Let's heal the world, you know? But the reality is, if you ask the spiritual tree hugger people, you said, how are you going to heal the world? I'm just going to send positive energies out there. No, dude. The kid that is starving out there right now, how are you going to feed? Not sending your love and whatever out there. How are you going to feed? You probably need some money, buy some food, and save their life now, today. You can save like that, right? Sometimes they need a bit of a different awakening, a human awakening. Then on the other side, they need a bit of a spiritual awakening. So what I see is, okay, if I can fully allow myself to be the representative of both sides, right? I will show you, I can lift this leg and put it on this side and practice yoga better than 95% of the people out there, right? I will show you how flexible I am, how well I look after my body, my temple. I don't just speak about it, I look after it. In all these different aspects, I'll look after it, and I'll show how I give and how I contribute to the world and how I heal the world. That's fine. But at the same time, I'll show you that you can absolutely have everything. You can have everything, both sides. You know, I believe that one day, and this is what my message is doing, number one, it's getting the clicks for all the materialistic people, all the people who look at the McLaren and say, oh, I want to know how he does it. Great, come meditate. I'll show you, right? And then if I could give some love to those people, I think these people can change the world. They have money. And with some love and money is very powerful now, right? Not love of money, love and money, right? And then if the other side, all these loving spiritual people, if I can teach you guys how to become financially free, OMG, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Think about it. You wanted to change the world, right? What is money? Money is purely an amplifier of who you are. It's not good. It's not bad. So if you're a good person and you have money, I believe you'll help a lot of people with it. So I'm saying that I believe if I can bridge this gap in this lifetime, that's my purpose, then I believe that we together in unity can heal the world, can change the world.
Beautiful. That was a beautiful message. And that's what I mean. You're opening the door to the masses through the materialistic realm to spread a good message. You know, spirituality, positivity, manifestation. How often do you manifest?
Well, we're manifesting all the time. Every moment, every thought, every feeling, every vibration is manifesting. Yeah. So our most important thing is in every moment to be conscious about our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. Yeah. I think that there's so many people who get into law of attraction and they do morning rituals and they do evening rituals, law of attraction practices, and I'm like, you kind of missed the point. Because it's about how you keep it up all the time.
Finish this sentence for me. I became rich when I blank.
There's too many. I became rich when I found myself the right mentor. I believe mentorship and coaching is very important because it's the shortcut. You know, you can try fall over 1,000,000 times to figure out yourself, or you can just ask somebody who's on the other side and say, hey, dude, how did you get there, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer in finding, going outside for help, finding people who've been there and done it before, and whether it be paying them to coach you, or whether it be, you know, doing them some favors or helping them in exchange for it, you know? So I think that helped me a lot. Many coaches and many mentors taught me how to become rich, yeah.
Do you have mentors for different realms of things in your life? Do you have a spiritual mentor,
Absolutely.
A financial mentor?
Absolutely. In everything I do, in everything I do, I have that. Yeah. Recently, I've got myself into finding myself a dance teacher and a singing teacher as well. Yeah.
Beautiful. You should come to my karaoke bar.
Oh yeah, you have a karaoke bar
in Australia.
Oh cool. Yeah.
But we should do one here.
Chinese love the karaoke.
They love it, and we've got the Chinese type, 10 rooms.
Oh right, yeah.
So
we just went a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh no way.
Yeah, last week actually. Yeah.
We should do one here.
Yeah. We should go sometime.
I've got the experience. Well, no, we should actually set one up here.
Right, set one up.
Build one.
I'll leave that to you.
No, that's not for you.
That's a lot of work.
I love that about you. You stay in your lane, you know, because I'm a firm believer of, you know, when you stay in your lane, you accept everything that comes to you. No man can take away from you. But if you get out of your lane to get something that's not meant for you, any man, God will take away from you.
You're full of wisdom. I like that.
Not
that's
compared
strong.
to you.
No, that's strong for
Not
a very
compared
very young age as well. A lot of wisdom, you know, because it took me many years to, you know, stay in my lane, like what you're saying. That saying, know thyself. The most important thing in spiritual or personal development. If you don't know yourself, you'll always get yourself lost. You know, I used to do that as well, you know, and I see so many people do that.
Yeah.
You know, some people say, some people message me. So many people message every day saying, Master, I've got this project. You really love it. It can make you a lot of money. I'm like, dude, you missed the point.
Yeah.
Because if you think that's why I would say yes and dive into certainly Forex trading or whatever, just doing all these random stuff, then you've missed the point, because I know what I'm good at, what I like, what I enjoy, and that's what my thing. I'm not going to go and, you know, everybody has this shiny object syndrome, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then they get lost.
Yeah. And I feel like you really understand people and the psychology of people. Or could I say that's the motion of energy? Because you're very still. It's very hard to shake you or move you. I say this because, You know, I've got friends that when we go to coffee shops, they sit there and they go, oh my God, look how much money they're making. There's 3 people, they just bought a cappuccino. How much is a cappuccino? And I was like, just chill, dude. Just chill. Enjoy your coffee. This is not for you. Owning a coffee shop is not for you. And typically those people are the ones that are quickly shaken to go do this industry and that industry, which is not meant for them. And it always crumbles. God takes it away from them because it was never meant for them.
I like that.
All right.
Like that.
I think for me, why I contribute a lot of my success to is I stay still, and if it comes to me, then I know it's for me, right? And that's why I've been able to build slowly, but build solidly, than to go backwards.
That's good. Takes discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people build and destroy. You know, build and destroy, build and destroy. It's just about finding your, your frequency speed. That's the key thing in business, I find. You got to find your frequency speed that works for you. If you go too fast, that's too fast for your frequency, you will trip and fall and you'll go backwards. But if you find your frequency and you push at that, then you find you grow. You might want to grow faster because we live in this social media world where there's stimulation all the time and you want to go more. But if you have the discipline to go at your own speed, you'll build, but you won't fall.
I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that. Yeah.
So maybe I should be a yogi.
You should.
Can you be my mentor? Under your wing, if there's any room, I'll always.
You should come. You should come for our yoga sessions. We do it 3 times. I teach 3 times a week. Yeah.
In your
In our
Alka's
center,
office?
yeah.
Beautiful. I will. I definitely will. I 100% will, because it's something that I like. I'm really into this stuff. In Australia, they're very ignorant to it, and they used to call me a hippie.
All right.
and obviously, I was in the capitalistic world. You know, in businesses, I had over 120 staff. Well, I have 120 staff right now, and I'm in this capitalistic world. How can I be a hippie? But it's not that. It's I have very still, you know. And my mum obviously she had a passion for it. So from a young age, I used to go in that direction. I have a friend going through a bad breakup. Okay, he's really heard about it, and I'm sure there's a lot of men going through a breakup. What advice would you have to relieve them of that pain? Give them some clarity.
I think they need to reassess the love they have for the other person. Most people, they think they love someone, but it's not real love. I mean, if I ask a question and I said, you love that person, do you want the best for that person? The answer should be yes. You know, if I say, you love that person, do you want that person to be the happiest? Your answer should be yes. And if I ask the person who's going through the breakup, I say, that person who you love and you want the best for, and you want them to be most happy, are they most happy and getting the best from the relationship that you've been in? The answer will be no. If they're honest to themselves, it will be no. That's why they're going through a breakup. So reassess your love for them. Do I love them enough to really want the best for them? Most people, it's not love. Most people, it's attachment. I will love you if you're mine. I will love you and you need to be mine. You know, if we learn to really love someone, we really want the best for them, then it doesn't matter in which situation, who they're with, what happens, you know, it's okay. So, like in the past, you know, I've been cheated on before, and you know, my thoughts were, you know, and she's saying sorry and everything, and I'm saying that actually you don't need to be sorry, it's okay, because I must not be as perfect for you as you wanted. So it's supposed to happen, and you know, I'm sorry I couldn't be that person, you know, and so it's okay, because you obviously found happiness in doing something else, and then you should, I wish you all the best. I hope you can go out there and find that real happiness, you know, and real love. And so you come to peace with it when you understand what real love is.
What you said before about, I love you, but when you're mine, that's the ego trickling into our brains. How necessary is the ego, and what's your opinion on the ego?
I mean, you try to use it for good, you know. If you can use it for good, you need to look at your intent, and you need to look at the outcome. This is our responsibility. So, in the past, my dad used to always say I'm a lazy person, and all my cousins are all smarter than me, and he used to challenge me. My ego, every single day, will want to prove him wrong, to show that no, I can be the best. So what's my intent? My intent is to be the best. My outcome is what? I became the best. It's good. You know? But that's not the story for most people. Most people, their ego is sabotaging things, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Self-sabotage.
So, yeah.
And it goes back to, you know, build and destroying. Some people don't believe they deserve it, so they self-sabotage. When I wake up in the morning and I'm not feeling 100% for whatever reason, I didn't dream well, I had a problematic dream, I had a, you know, disturbed dream, and I'm more fiery and I'm more, you know, I don't go through the correct procedure of thinking and being rational, I don't leave the house because I'm going to do more damage today than I am good. So then I restrict myself and I put discipline with myself on not doing anything. I turn myself off. I'm not available today. And that is the best thing you could do on
That's
those
good.
days.
Responsibility.
Yeah.
You're responsible. Yeah.
What's your opinion on fear? I mean, my favorite quote is, "My biggest fear is fear itself." What's your opinion?
What I always say is fear is always there. So too many people are trying to get rid of, how do I get rid of this fear? How do I get rid of that fear? So my thing is more about embracing fear and knowing that fear happens when we are stepping into something we've never stepped into before. But we also must step into something we've never stepped into before to achieve something we've never achieved before. If you are on a growth journey and you're feeling fear, it's inevitable. It's supposed to be there. So we need to train ourselves for fear. Practice acting in spite of fear, you know, like go skydiving, you know, feel the fear, jump, you know, do all these activities to train ourselves to understand that fear is just, you know, our mind trying to trick us, trying to stop us, you know. So I don't do too much work on trying to get rid of fears. Yeah. Instead, I train people to become friends with fear. Actually, yeah. So it's like now we're doing a $50 million investment here in Dubai. It's probably one of the biggest investments I've ever did. Imagine like following being scammed not so long ago and all this and all these things. Will fear be there? Fear will always be there, you know. But I got to do it because I got to do things I've never done before. And so fear is inevitable. So to be able to achieve the next version of myself, you know.
Do you believe in everything happens for a reason? I mean, was the scam supposed to happen for a reason?
Of course, yes, of course. Yeah.
So if everything was supposed to happen for a reason, does that mean everything's pre-written?
Yes, everything is pre-written. Yeah.
So everything that's supposed to happen is so everything that is going to happen has already been written.
Yeah.
So we're in a matrix.
You can say that, yeah.
So if I grab this bottle right now and I smash that window,
yeah, it'll smash.
That was already written. That was written for me to do that.
Again, let's go back to the computer game analogy, right? Because some people, they say, if everything's already written, then what's the point in you teaching manifestation? How can I change anything if it's already written?
Good point.
No, it's not destiny is already written. Destinies are already written. Take a computer game. A designer, a programmer, in this instance God, a designer, a programmer, needs to program if you can open that door and you could go through that gate, what would be the outcome? What will show up? Will a person greet you or what happen? They need to be written. But can I choose whether I want to walk through that gate or walk through that door? Yes, I can choose. Okay, if I choose to pick up, like you say, if I choose to pick up that bottle and I throw it against the window, what will happen? Does the programmer need to design that will smash and something will leak? Yeah, of course. Every single destiny is written. You see? So it's all pre-written, It's all cause and effect. But we still can make a conscious decision to say, I'm going to decide to do this instead of this.
Sure.
You know? But eventually, though, it will all lead us still to the same ultimate, the end game.
Yeah.
It will lead to that end game.
Sure.
So that is pre-written. And then some people will say, yeah, but what's my end game? What am I supposed to do, to fulfill this? But that's besides the point, because if today I was to tell everybody, I said, the end game is for you to completely detach humanly to every human emotion, human need, human, whether that become love, love and connection, human need, whether that becomes sex, whether that become, all these different things. People say, well, that's not fun then. I wouldn't want to, I don't, why do I want to do that? You want to be peaceful, not affected by anything. Then people say, well, what's the point in life then? That's exactly the point. The point is that you're not ready for that part yet. You're not ready for the end game. Because when we are completely detached from everything that's humanly, we return to spirit. So, but if you still got human needs right now, then what should you do? How should you live your life? That's why your purpose, or anybody who's listening's purpose, should not be the same as mine in this lifetime. You played computer games before? Okay. How many, just roughly, in your lifetime?
How many different games or how many times?
Different games.
6.
Only 6?
I never was big into it.
Right,
when I was a kid,
let's say 6.
Tarzan.
Okay, out of 6 computer games, right, how many did you complete the game? Any one, or not even one?
Not one.
Yeah. I remember I probably completed 1, maybe Street Fighter or something, I don't know, right? But out of all the games I played, I only completed 1. Will I still play some of the games today? Am I playing to complete it? Absolutely not. I'm just playing because today there's something to do. So what does this mean? Same thing as life. Not everybody's supposed to complete the end destiny right now in this lifetime. One day as our spirit grows, we may have the appetite to do it 5 lifetimes later. It doesn't matter, right? The most important thing for everybody is just enjoy the game. If you just enjoy going to that house every single day and chilling, then just enjoy it. You enjoyed it, Yeah.
If you like this video, consider subscribing. We do weekly podcasts with experts in every industry to help you find direction and guide you on your way. Now let's get back into it. Have you heard about the book The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho?
I've heard of it, but I haven't read it before.
It says the same thing, what you're saying. It's basically saying we're all our own gods. We all choose our own destiny. Yes, it's already written, like what you said, but you choose the destiny you pick. Right? What's your favorite type of meditation?
Third eye meditation.
Okay.
100%, yeah. Because you can do most with it. You can go anywhere you want to go. Yeah, it's like, third eye is like the airport. So you get to travel anywhere you want to travel. Yeah.
First class.
Yeah, you can.
Going back to destiny, if I was to have a heart attack and die, is that pre-written? That's pre-written. So I can't eat healthy, exercise,
You can.
And prevent that? Or no, I will still have a heart attack?
No, because there's an action and a reaction, right? It's a cause and effect. So will you enter into a different path if you look after your body? Of course, it's a different destiny that's also pre-written, right? It's the same thing, like you playing a game again, right? If you pick up the health pack and you take the health pack, you live longer. Yes, you do. Right? If you don't pick it up, will you die now? Yes. Is it all pre-written? Yes, it's all pre-written.
The health pack. Okay. What about clairvoyance? Do you believe in clairvoyance?
Yes.
You believe in that? Okay. So
you can ask me anything. I'll probably say yes to everything.
Okay. So my previous relationship, my ex used to go to the clairvoyant and say this, that, you're gonna break up with him, whatever. So that's real. I used to say to her, what are you listening to her? She doesn't know anything about you. She's telling you her future.
Yeah, there's many people who are real out there. There's many people who are not real out there. So
sure.
Some people are doing it to make some money,
Yep.
And some people are doing it out of ego, and some people are actually doing it genuinely to help people. But usually, how I see it, I see that there's a lot of people who, read people's future or things like that, and they are not responsible with how they're reading it. Like when I'm doing any readings for anybody, I would never say for example, you're just about to die or anything. I would never say those words, because when I say it, what happens is you apply a little bit more power to it, and then you will die even sooner. So why would you do that? You wouldn't do it that way. I would not say that, oh, you know, the next investment you make, you're going to get scammed. I would never say that. Even if I see it, I would not say it, because my responsibility is how my ability to respond to this situation. So how am I supposed to give the best, so that you respond the best, so that you get the best outcome? That's my responsibility, because that's my karma. What I advise you and your outcome is also my karma, right? So how do I give that advice if I knew, okay, the next investment someone's going to make, they're going to be scammed in it? How would I give the advice? I would just give the advice that, okay, during these months, if you get any things to do with paperwork and things like that, then it's better you look through the details a little bit more carefully. Like it's, be a little bit more cautious on what you are investing in and things like that. That's my advice. If I said you're going to get scammed, now then, I'm going to get scammed. And then what happens is they add on to the energy and it manifests even faster. Right?
So that skill exists. That skill of a clairvoyant exists. There are some people that are fakers and trying to make money, I get that, but that exists. Somebody can walk in and you can say, hey, in the future you're going to marry this person, you're going to divorce him, then you're going to have 3 kids.
Yeah, but they shouldn't do that, really. Nobody should.
They shouldn't do that, sure.
Nobody should intervene with
divine power.
Yeah, we don't intervene with that. So
okay.
I'll never. If I see something, I still wouldn't say something.
Do you see anything in me?
I haven't looked.
I haven't looked. Okay.
I think a lot of people they look at that. They look at people who can see. They look at people who can see things or intuitively receive these messages. People sometimes they fear. They say, "Oh my God, you're reading me right now." And then it's like, no, dude, I haven't got time and energy for that. Why would I do that? It's like saying this. Imagine you say, everybody has a book.
Yeah.
Their future book, their present book, their past book, everything, right? Whoever you look at. So, you're in a library.
Yeah.
Are you going to read all the books? No, you're not. I mean, who's got time for that?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So if I have a purpose for it, I'll read it. If I'm going into business partnership with you, then I'll do some reading because I need to know, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but if not, then, you're not going to be reading for people for no reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point. Can we talk to dead people?
Yeah.
We can talk to dead people. Okay. But if that dead person, his soul is, into a different form, how do they speak to us? Let's say we're that soul, and somebody wants to talk to us.
Yeah, you'll feel it now.
Yeah, but how?
You'll feel it intuitively. You'll be just, your mind will be disturbed.
I see.
So, your let's say your ex-wife in your past life is missing you and speaking to you right now. I'm missing you. Right now you just feel, I don't know what it is, I feel love, I feel like I should go home to my wife or something. You feel something.
Yeah.
You couldn't put your finger on it to say exactly where that feeling's come from, but that's feeling. Feeling is emotion. Emotion, energy and motion. The energy travels through you, you feel it, and you respond to it,
Wow.
So it affects us. That's why karma is not one lifetime. We want to do as much good in this lifetime as possible. We want everyone to speak good about us, as many people as possible. Because after you're gone, they will still pray and still speak to you. When they're speaking to you, you hope they're saying a lot of good things, a lot of positive things, because you will be emotionally affected by their signals that they're sending in your next life,
Interesting. So it disturbs the soul in a way when they call upon you to ask questions. And you'll be able to feel that. But you wouldn't know what that feeling is.
But you will definitely respond to it, because emotion is energy in motion. You end up taking action because of an emotional signal.
I see. Masiri, I gotta say, I when you meet somebody and you say, what, on the internet they seemed a lot like the real deal, but in person they got lucky, or they're a bit faking it or whatever. You are definitely not that. You've exceeded all my thoughts and pre-thoughts that I had, and I appreciate you coming on the podcast. I really do. I enjoyed my time.
Thank you.
Thoroughly. We'd like to finish off the podcast by asking our guest the same question. If you could have a dinner party with 3 people, dead or alive, who would they be and why?
Bruce Lee.
Yeah, beautiful. That's a great one. I'm actually going to Seattle to go to his grave.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because my dad is a black belt, fourth dan in karate, and I was raised to. He's a sensei, and I was raised to. And you know, I've had more teeth surgeries than anyone because I watched Bruce Lee movies, and he always had his hands down. So I've got dead nerves, I've got implants because I wanted to be Bruce Lee. My hands are always down in karate. So yeah.
So amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce Lee, because I've always been interested in martial arts, and he's beyond martial arts. His philosophy and everything is amazing. You know, I think the second one would probably be Buddha.
Wow.
Yeah, I would like to have a conversation with him. Yeah, understand his thought process and everything that he did. The third, I've never really thought about this before, so I don't really have any. I think Muhammad Ali.
Wow.
I think we'll just have a laugh, you know.
Yeah.
I think he's fun. I think he's
so
funny,
fun.
you know. So yeah, I'll just hear his jokes and enjoy it, you know.
That's a great one. That is incredible. What a dinner party that would be. That's the first time I've had Muhammad Ali actually, and that's a big one for me too. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.